Okay, I'm going to show you how to use the registration tool, and then also how to set it up where the registration is your main page when students sign into the course, and that'll allow the students to click right on your course and register easily, and then we can change it back to whatever page you want. So why don't we start by going into resources, and then we can add it wherever we want. The important thing with adding it so that we can set it as our home page is to make sure that it's in the top page of resources, and then later on I can show you how to move it around if you want to do that. But when you're in resources, you're going to click add and then head down to registration. Once you're in registration, you can name the registration whatever you want, and then give a description. You can add anything you want in the description as far as directions are concerned. This will help students out. Alright, once we get down to choices, this is where you can start naming how many choices you want the students to choose from, and how many options you want. So you can also designate how many seats you want for that, or how many people you want in a group, or how many students you want to choose something in particular. So for this case, we'll put 2. And you can choose anything you want as far as if you want only 1 seat for something, you can also do that. What it does is it closes it out as soon as that number of seats have been taken. So this allows you to see students to see each other's choice. When we talked about it before, you probably want to you don't want them to see it because then they can see where their friends are choosing. You can also put it in here where students must explain their choice. If you want it to be something along the lines of if they have option 1 or 2, if you give them more than one option, and then they can say underneath it, this is my first option, this is my second, and then you can choose where students go. For this case, I'm going to leave it off. They can select a minimum of 1 or max 1. When I just said about the option 1 or 2, if they could choose 2 options, you can give them the option of choosing 2 or 3, how many of you want. This gives a deadline that students have to choose by. This gives the students the ability to edit their choices after. If it's the case where you want them to choose it and you don't want them to be able to check with a friend, then you probably want to leave this unclicked. And then this allows you to make it active or inactive and set a time span. So you can activate it immediately to, let's say, any specific time you want. So if we wanted to do it for tonight by 7 p.m., that's all you have to do. And then at 7 p.m. it actually closes it out and students can no longer get into it. So once you click save, it's all ready to go. You can check the registrations by clicking on the registrations, and it'll show you how many have registered for each, as well as how many students haven't registered at all. And then if you want, you can actually download it to Excel. You can also register students there if you want, and you have the option to edit registration, but it limits it once it's open. So you won't be able to go in and change all of the options, but you'll be able to change some of the settings. Alright, so registration's open, so now we want the students to be able to sign right into your course and see the registration right there. So what you'll do is you'll click on More and then Settings, and once you're in Settings, Course Properties and Features. This allows you to change what your start page is. All the way at the bottom you see Start Page, and we can click on PMIL Test 2, which we just created. Click Save. Then when students jump in to the course, whatever course you're in, it'll go directly to your registration. And we can easily change that back by just going into those settings and changing it back to whatever your start page is. So that's a quick little tutorial on how to set up the registration. It will look a little bit different for students. It will just have a screen that says register. The students click register and they select their choice and they submit it, and that's it. And then it's very easy for them to do. So I hope this helps out. Hope all's well.